Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. I already posted earlier today on Discord and Telegram that Bitcoin is likely either giving us already the white wave count here to lower, or that it's gonna reset the yellow X wave, which I had here before, lower. That happened before the drop, and then we had this small sell-off candle. I mean, this is nothing major, right, what we're doing at the moment, but obviously it made a new swing low. It's still, though, unclear if the yellow wave 4 is already finished or we are already in the white wave count. It's still somewhat unclear because in this WXY structure in yellow, it can always suddenly rally. Even though with the latest candle, it starts to look more and more like the white wave count. What is the white wave count? What is the yellow wave count? Well, in both of them, we're counting a wave 4, right? They're basically only different in the sub-wave structures. In both scenarios, they are both part of the same, essentially. It's just two different ways of getting there. In both scenarios, we would expect price to make another low below the 17th of August low. Ideal next target is around 24K. And the white wave count just shows in detail how the sell-off would look like if wave 4 has already topped. And it has done enough in this wave 4, right? It doesn't need to go any higher. Whereas the yellow wave count just shows how a WXY structure would look like in case the wave 4 extends, which it can do until it has taken out the third wave low of around 25,320. There is a small support area here, the Fibonacci support, the 78.6 Fib level we talked about earlier today at 25,470. Yeah, if that level is taken out, we get a sustained break below that. That would also increase the likelihood that we're already heading to the downside. But it needs a sustained break, and then we can very well already break below the 25,320 level, right? So again, still somewhat unclear if we are still in the wave 4 or it has already topped. But as I said in previous videos, it's not, we don't know the answer. You can't know the answer without having that breakout finally to the downside. What we can do, though, is to understand where the relevant resistance level is. That's 26,450. And that's so important because it's the pivot point between this wave count, where we're counting a wave 4 with one more wave 5 to the downside to come, and a much higher B wave that could potentially even go all the way up to 29K, right? So that means that we can focus on lower against 26,450. That means that even if it goes a little bit of up and down here, it doesn't really matter to the perspective we have. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, if you ask me, I mean, this looks nicely like the white wave count, to be honest, already. Wave 1 in a leading diagonal, wave 2 pullback, and the third wave could be unfolding now with a small 1-2, and then here maybe another small 1-2, and then now a third wave. At least this candle looks a little bit like a third wave unfolding, but it would need to follow through now. But yeah, it's not much is going on, right? It's very boring. So we're trying to figure out what's going on here, even though not much is going on. Now, very important also to understand that the ideal target for the wave 4 is 26,180. It's the 38.2 Fib level. Typically for a wave 4, always the ideal target. And there is also a lot of historical volume. The point of control remains at that level here around 26,050 roughly. Right? So it's a little bit below that 38.2 Fib level. And yeah, what I also showed you before is that obviously price came down and then basically retested that point of control from below, and since then has been coming down and down and down. Okay, so slowly, but essentially it's into the direction we want it to go to. But as long as we haven't taken out the third wave low, it's technically still possible for a rebound in this particular wave count to happen. It's obviously tricky because it's just hovering above key support. I mean, this is the 50% retracement of the larger cycle here at 25,350. And so it's basically squeezed between the ideal target for a fourth wave and a key support level. So obviously the market has really a lot of difficulties to decide where to go and to push through resistance or support. So we remain patient. We are tracking the microstructures. This should give you a good view of how things could unfold. But bear in mind that both of these here are part of the same scenario, and I expect price to go lower in any of these as long as price stays below 26,450. The break above that level would just force a reconsideration of the wave count or a re-evaluation, and we will have to consider then a high B wave, which is just a delay in the sell-off in my opinion. Still though, tracking overall a bullish scenario, but short term it looks like we need at least another low. That's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram and X, or formerly Twitter. And also, if you're interested in the membership, every Sunday we have a live stream. You get access to our Telegram and Discord live chat rooms. For gold members, we have additional market updates short term. Yeah, so there's plenty to discover. Hope you like the update. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.